It's like you sound like you're doing narration at first.
Yeah, you basically said exactly what I was about to say.
I was like, sorry. I was like, wow. Is Sal's getting Leica to do some BO?
But yes, you have arrived in the great central city of T. Tianjia stretches out in almost a perfect radius from where you're standing. A great circular burg of perfectly laid out streets and bustling people. But all that bustle is kept held distant from where you are presently. Standing as you are in a courtyard of the Imperial Palace. Directly across from you is one of the entrances to the central complex of buildings, uh, all of which are inlaid with gold or painted red wood. And along the arches of the roofs are a metal ornamentation. Our metal ornamentation in a sort of flaming fire motif, arcing upwards towards the peaks of each building, also wrought in gold. In the dawnlight, it glitters with extra, an extra fiery red, reflecting to your eyes with the opulence of perhaps the greatest empire in the world. Also glittering with all the opulence of perhaps the greatest empire of the world are a number of individuals currently walking towards you. 10 soldiers in heavy scaled mountain pattern armor, with pauldrons shaped like ornamented dragon heads, and plumed helmets, their armor gilded to the same extent as the buildings, march towards you, with pairs of them breaking off and standing at points along the pathway leading to your landing spot, flanking, presumably flanking your way into the city and also standing guard near at hand in case their reaction is needed. Eventually, 8 of them stand along the path itself, and the 2 foremost flank another figure who is marching at their head. Standing head and shoulders above the other guards is a minotaur, armored in much the same fashion, though notably somewhat more ornate. And the 2 horns that protrude from the helmet are not immediately clear whether or not they are part of the helmet or the ones that are part of his head, being that they are reflective in red metal with golden fiery ornamentation at their base connecting to the helmet. He holds a massive guando, as do the rest of his compatriots. And he is the one who approaches you first as you begin to collect yourselves from the sky skiff. I greet the Iron Dragon of the North and the Ivory Dragon of the East. The rest of you I do not know. I am Chamberlain New. I am the head of the Imperial Guard in Tianjia and the Imperial Palace, and the one responsible for the Emperor's security. You'll ergo be telling me who you are now.
All right. Are we off the ship? Or should I do a cool flip off the ship?
You can disembark the ship any way you please.
I do a cool flip off the ship.
Okay, you land in front of Chamberlain New. He looks unimpressed.
All right. I am Sato Ryudo, daimyo of Sarugu. Currently.
He doesn't see any. You don't see any particular recognition pass over.
Also, many greats granddaughter of the Iron Dragon.
That's maybe something that you don't tell to everyone.
Ah.
These are my guests, New, and ones with information that will be of interest to both my siblings who I am meeting here and the Emperor himself. I understand. You then vouch for their trustworthiness. Of course. I wouldn't bring someone who could threaten the Emperor right into his home. That would be, well, bad and stupid and completely out of character, if I say so myself. Again, the Minotaur looks wholly unimpressed. But this seems to at least assuage his suspicions. You will then be holding them in the North Palace. It's not exactly outfitted for, entertaining, last I checked. I will attend with the Chancellor on ensuring that they are kept comfortable. Who are the rest of your companions?
I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
We do so.
Oh, okay. Alright. FYR presents himself as whatever he is, formerly a tree. I don't know what he is now.
Well,
It's been several days.
Actually,
So.
it's been several days of flying on the sky skiff. So, after which you're all technically rested, but it hasn't been exactly comfortable. So you are pretty happy to be off the thing. But yeah, Batfire, if you could just
11.
give me a nice D40. You rolled already? All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got an 11.
You should have
Got an
known
11.
what was gonna happen when I asked that question.
Okay, you become a human, but not quite a human.
Okay.
You are a human of apparent half-fiend ancestry.
Cool.
Your eyes are all the same color. Rather, your pupil and sclera are both the same color as your
I was
iris.
about to, I was about to say, you said all your eyes, and I'm like, wait, how many eyes do I have? Okay, all of your eyes. Oh, this, okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I am backed by our personal bodyguard to Sadar. Uh, and that's really it. And then Akio take like bows, like he holds up like he does like just royal, like I'm Akio Harada, leader of uh yeah, I yet have not named it after all these years. Subsequent ally and hired mercenary of under Sadariota.
a mercenary.
Well, yeah.
New looks at Twante Dunn at this, to which the dragon simply sort of shrugs and smiles bashfully. New then looks back to the rest of you. And the rust.
Out of character, are we paying Akio?
No, but technically yes, I guess.
The same way that we're paying
The
all
same
of
way we
us.
pay ourselves. Yeah.
Akio picks up on the offense and just quickly just declares, I do apologize for any offense. If there was any to be had, I do not mean to offend. If you would like me to remove my presence, I should act accordingly.
You do not cause me particular offense, mercenary. But I understand that your loyalty is typically to coin. And if
Oh,
that should cause you to become an agent of someone willing to pay to cause problems within my palace, then it will cause problems with me.
oh, I do apologize, sir. I forgot to provide context. I am of Sarugan birth, and while I do have, well, my ethics being defined by whoever provides like the coin for my services, my loyalty is to my homeland. You you have no worries. I would not participate in any particular action that would put a danger on any particular reason with our meeting. I would never do that. And do understand that my words do carry a sense of a potential insincerity with that. I will work to prove myself.
Noted.
Yeah.
Undine,
Oh, yes.
who are you?
I'm Katsumi Makoto, the acting general of the armies of Surugu.
You carry no weapon.
Mm,
You are a
I don't.
strategist?
No. Well, yes, but also no. I don't need it. I don't need the weapons.
Noted. You carry no weapon either, Neben.
Nope.
And you are?
How does a bow? Paulina Kalu. Leal Council of Sarariro. All of
What?
us here are as such, so don't worry about it.
I'm looking at Pal. Like, what is that voice?
And you, priestess of Crypta.
MSI. I just follow them around because they have a habit to find undead.
Interesting. Understood. You will be allowed access to areas of the palace. If a palace guard commands you to leave an area, you will. You will not be permitted to carry weapons within the areas of the palace. You will surrender any weapons you have on your persons to the guards behind me. There is no violence of any kind within the confines of the palace. Is that understood?
There is
All
no
right.
war in Boston.
Sure.
Very well. These guards will lead you to your quarters when they are prepared. In the meantime, I will leave you with the dragons.
All right.
Do not cause trouble. And with that, he turns around and he marches back into the palace. The 10 palace guards with him do not follow, but remain in their positions, including the 2 palace guards that were following him directly, who are now sort of looking at you all expectantly.
Let's start handing over weapons.
Okay. Just so I know, could you give me an inventory of the weapons that you are handing over?
Let me see.
Can we leave weapons on the ship?
They may seize them, but it seems most important that you don't have weapons on your person.
Okay. Well, that fire hands over 2 swords, and I assume his horned helmet would count as a weapon.
Why would you assume that?
I don't
mean-
know. It's not like I
These
can't pick
guys
it
all
up.
have horned helmets.
No,
Yeah, they're
actually,
fucking
most of
armed.
them don't. It was only
Just the 2 guys, or the
no,
one guy
just-
in the
just
Minotaur,
Chamberlain
I
knew,
guess,
but
or-
he is a Minotaur, so
yeah.
actually, I'll Chamberlain knew. One day these will be hand drawn by me.
Insight check. Were the horns real?
Yeah.
Would that be perception?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, Sai really wants to know.
They were wow. They were at the very least they were gilded. But when he moved his head, they seemed to move more in connection with the helmet than his head,
Okay.
which was extremely difficult for you to spot because obviously his helmet is on his head and they tend to move at the same rate, being that it's well fitted. But you were able to notice because you rolled a 45. That's what you can do with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here, have a Chamberlain you.
Look at that guy.
Madfire hands over his Nodachi, a Skitterkin dagger, and a fire tooth lizard tooth.
Okay. Nodachi. Skitterkin dagger.
We're-
Oh, wait a second. Maybe I should. I feel like I must confess to see something.
Yeah.
Ominous.
Excuse me. Yes.
I would like to ask if you are able to accommodate for large creatures.
The guard looks at you. Narrows his eyes at you and that I mean we routinely accommodate dragons.
Okay. So please refrain from being surprised by this. This is done as a matter of convenience for transportation. And I step back, give myself space, and Batfire takes off his ring. Or, sorry, a pendant.
Oh, you're a centaur.
Yeah.
So are you really a centaur or are you a human?
No. It's a long story, but I can essentially, with the use of this artifact, which I prefer to keep on me, I'm able to not run into any inconvenience with and just points at himself. Frame.
Yeah, you're really. Wow, you are really wide. Why are you so big?
It is a very long story. Perhaps once
Frank
we
is
have a
small.
moment, yeah,
Uh,
if we have a moment, we can entertain the tales of adventure.
Okay. Thank you, sir, surrendering your weapons to us.
Hey, Sal's, how's the shadow katana work again?
It's a katana, but its
Okay.
blade appears to be made of shadow.
I can't. Oh yeah, I can't retract or anything. I
Nope.
couldn't remember if that's how it worked now. But yeah, I'll turn over.
Would they recognize a bag of? Are they patting us down? Because I always think about the bag of holding and like what that looks like, and if people know what it is at a glance.
They know magic exists, and
Yeah.
that bags of holding are not uncommon. So
Yeah.
Okay.
if they spot one, they might go, "Hey!" I mean, even in reality, people tell you to open your bag at
So
at
yeah, I
sight,
turn
so-
over.
Yeah, that's true, but like I don't know. I just always remember that I have a dwarven axe in my bag of holding, and I'm like, do I have to turn that over to them? Would they care? I don't. That's just for. it's for
You do
shits and
see
giggles.
them gesture at the bag of holding.
All right, I reach in and I pull out a dwarven hand axe.
Thank you.
I turn over the family katana,
Totally
the
fair.
shadow katana, and the blade of Sugi and the magic shuriken.
How many weapons do you have?
A lot.
A lot. What are we gonna do out of character? Or in character, you see Asai eyeing the Blade of Wrath and trying to subtly gesture, like, do we give that over?
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
it's no longer all ratified, so
It's incredibly talkative, though.
It is not anymore.
Oh,
I thought it was talking.
No,
It's
No,
just
the
no.
other one is talking.
Akio made
Oh.
the one T done made
Wait.
another talking sword for Akio.
I thought he made it out of the other sword.
No,
no, he
No, he made it out of the
out
other swords. Oh,
He did.
Okay.
we didn't make it
Yes.
out. He still has a blade of wrath.
That's right. Okay, good. Yes. Yeah, you're correct. Wow. Yeah.
So, Akio has 2 talking swords?
One is being quiet right now, but yes. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you have a-
Akio had 3 swords, one of which was the Blade of Wrath. The Blade of Wrath used to speak, but now doesn't after Blue Eyes blew it up. Akio's other 2 swords got combined into a new sword by Dronte Dunn, and that sword also has a new personality that is modeled off Dronte Dunn when he's being really enthusiastic about something.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh!
His name is
Okay.
Sora. Because it means flying.
Okay.
I should probably looked up what Sora meant before I named him Sora, but I'm not taking it back.
and you
Something like
walk
that.
over,
Wind or air or wing or feather. One of those.
you won't hear me
He's
say-
sore.
Okay, so you are handing over though the sword of Nanoxus's wrath, and
Oh wait, I told us in front of the guard. I talked to the sword. Hey, it's gonna be all right. I'm gonna get you back. Just don't do anything. Okay?
what? Why
Oh.
are you handing me over to someone? Are you handing
It's
me
just proceed.
these guys?
I'm at. It's just, I don't. You just need to be temporarily stored for a second. Just. You know.
All right then.
Yeah, I'll get you back. I need we need to. It's respecting culture. You know.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
I'm sure this will be fun. Wonder what other talkative weapons I'll run into. And then you hand him over.
You're great,
What is his name again? Sora?
Sora.
Yes. Sorry.
It's finally here.
Okay. Does anybody else need to hand over a weapon?
I mean,
A scythe.
do I have to
Aside.
hand myself over?
No. That's
Vampire
our that's
in
our
the-
that's our
Ace
our
in the
trick.
hole.
secret
That's our
weapon.
ace in the hole if something goes horribly wrong. That 3 of us can
Legally-
attack without weapons.
Legally, I am allowed to defend myself by trampling somebody to death.
Also
with my sword, but
Batware, yes. Batware
Yes,
can
Fatfire is.
can stamp on people.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
But I
Worst
cannot
comes to
turn
worst,
over my
at
weapon.
that-
And then
like,
and
down on
Asai can
someone.
cast spells, so hey, we're pretty good.
I guess we gotta unscrew a size brain and just give him size brain.
So, Asai, you're handing over your shadow scythe.
Well,
But it was a bit of shadow.
I would rather just leave it on the ship. But I don't want them raiding the ship. I mean, we don't have anything on the ship, but
Yeah, they do also see you holding it, so
Just do like
Yeah.
Gandalf and be like, you wouldn't take a walking.
an old man's walking stick, walking
that's
scythe.
clearly a weapon. Like, I understand
Scythe
that
of a
it's
priestess of Crypta.
yeah, no,
This
I
is my
understand that,
religious
but it's
instrument.
also
Yeah,
it has a blade.
but it's
like-
my religion.
I know. You're going to have to deal with having a less deadly holy symbol for your time here.
Fine.
Why are we so uncool today? We're like
I mean, it says
incredibly
you. I'm
lame.
Already
incredibly
did it.
cool.
We're incredibly lame today. This is very funny.
We're all in a rare mood.
Yeah.
So Scythe of Asai, Pascal hands over his family Kopesh.
Oh.
Asai, scythe. Guitarist is also a weapon.
All right, Gadaris is with you. But Gadaris is in the guise of
Gulpo.
Gulpo Fig Newton,
Yes.
normal
Hell yeah.
Viennese man.
Yes.
Oh no, I do not have any weapons, you see. I am a diplomat. That would be most undiplomatic. At which point, one of the guards pats him down. But finding no weapons on him, because he really
There's
doesn't
a
have any weapons.
strange giant bulge.
Hmm.
Bilbo Fig Newton?
What?
Yeah, Gulpo Thick Newton.
Yeah.
Fruit has a
Normal
way
man.
with names.
Yep.
And then their eyes fall upon Dottore Clemenza,
Yeah.
the sort of short, pudgy man. He is holding his doctor's bag in both hands in front of him. And, well, you see, I have several instruments that are bladed, but really aren't weapons. I can show you them if you wish. And hand them over. Scalpel, 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 scalpel,
Scalpel.
needle, syringe, syringe, syringe. Dottore Clemenza starts just emptying out his doctor's bag, which apparently is a doctor's bag of holding, when he takes out a bone saw that is longer than the actual bag from it. And just, he is taking out tool after tool that is growing. You have never seen him use any of these, but it's growing like increasingly unnerving that he has them. Like he pulls out a full set of dentist's gear, including one of those little mirror things, and he goes to hand it. Oh no, it's not the blade. He puts it back in, and he takes out like a full corkscrew drill. I had to use this once to a person had the swelling in the brain and the ear, and holds the bag. He looks inside of it, then he turns it upside down, and he shakes it a few times, and a actual stretcher just sort of slides out, and he sort of slides it out the rest of the way before it falls on the ground. Yeah, that's it.
You know, he's a Dottore. We're probably all safer with him having all that stuff on him. You know,
I have
Yeah.
no
if anything
idea.
happens.
I don't know what half this stuff is, and I have only the vaguest idea of what a Dottore is. No. You keep the bag. We'll keep this. You'll get all this all back when you leave. But Not before then. Oh, go ahead. All right. The other guard at this point is now basically pushing Clemenza's pile of stuff with a broom over to where they're holding the rest of their weapons, as the guard that remains in front of you gestures to you to follow him.
All right.
Please. Duante Dun and Feng Wu have gone ahead of you.
Divesting of the weapons probably did take a while.
Yes. Clemenza in particular took some time. But the guard leads you then into this golden building through a pair of doors, which another pair of golden guards open for you. And you stride inside a fairly large chamber. A wide open space with great stone pillars holding up a airy ceiling. The pillars themselves are built of some deep sort of not magenta, but a deep sort of earthy red marble that you can see also has in the continuing theming of the decor, has veins of gold going through it in little fissures. Please remain in here with the Iron Dragon of the North
All
until
right.
such time as we retrieve you to bring you to your I was going to say resting place, but that would have been bad. No, bring you to your quarters. And again, don't mess with anything. We take an inventory of everything in this room every day. If anything is missing,
You'll kill us.
We're not vagabonds.
we'll see. And with that, he turns and leaves the room, and the doors close behind him, leaving you in this large, open chamber of pillars and really not much else. It's quite sparse in here. The marble floor sort of just stretches out on either side of directions of this central corridor pillars going to the presumably to the other side of the building, where another set of double doors stands. To the right and left of
Sorry, I was gonna be a stupid joke about that wire pulling out a desert eagle. It's fine. Moment has passed.
to the right and left of you are large open spaces, pillars also holding at the ceiling in here, in them, but more widely set, allowing for substantial amounts of open space. But within the open space itself, it's not really decorated, or not undecorated. It's actually quite sumptuous, in that there are great banners hanging down from the ceiling, each with a different one of 5 different sigils that sort of float in a pattern, and each in one of the 5 colors that you have come to associate with tea: red, blue, green, white, and gold. Red, blue, white, green, white, and black, and each of them with golden sigils upon them. The blue one with a golden koi fish, the green one with a golden tree, the black one with a golden flame, a The red one was simply a golden circle with a square section removed from it, like a not unlike a coin. The only one without a golden sigil is the white one, which is strange compared to the rest of them. It's just the white ivory field that shifts to a gray as it moves from left to right in a curved sort of way, almost giving the impression of a waxing moon. The only other thing of particular interest in this chamber are Duante Jun and Feng Wu, who stand apart from you, a ways down in the center of this aisle of pillars, speaking to a third figure. As you approach, you see that this man is taller than both of them, but gangly, sort of like almost like he almost looks stretched upward. His hair is almost pure white, stretching, cascading down his back and held up somewhat by a top knot. And his beard, which is essentially just as long, is shaped such that it stretches down to his belt line, but also from the left and right side of his face juts out in two different sub beards that fork out to the left and right. He holds a pipe in a sort of gnarled hand with long claw-like nails that are a bright jade green, and his eyes are all of one similar jade color. It is fairly easy to presume that you stand in the presence of another of Duante Dun's siblings. And indeed, this man, as you approach, takes notice of you and speaks. It appears your errant guests have returned to you, Duante Dun. I have to say they look tired. Who are these? Who are these then that we should be so interested in what they have to say? Well, these are. Can they not speak to themselves? Are you unable to speak Tian?
No, I can speak it.
Is there a language you would prefer to speak? Understand that I am fluent in every language.
I mean, I know like 6, 7 actually.
Well, perhaps we should switch on every few sentences.
Do you know Skitterkin?
Yes.
Nice.
Akio asks, "What are you guys talking about?"
He doesn't speak Tien.
They're flexing on each other.
I do not flex, I test. You
This must
are
be-
the ruler of Surugu, who would separate our eastern islands from the rest of our western empire.
Yes.
I have to say I'm not particularly upset at the notion. There's no threat to my own domain, and the fact that Feng Wu is apparently all right with it should really be the end of the discussion, but the humans will have no doubt their own interesting opinion on the matter.
Hmm.
You are all of curious abilities. I took note that several of you did not carry weapons that were surrendered to the Golden Guard. I'm interested as to why.
I mean,
Isn't that the respectful thing to do?
Well, hi. Don't actually need them. Me,
yeah,
myself.
we would have to hand over all of us, I guess, ourselves.
Like our
That's-
bodies.
Cut off all their limbs.
We can't really, not really helpful like that. So
Yeah.
So I presumed, but I was curious as to whether the artistry by which you would prove to be lethal to others is martial or arcane in nature.
Marshall.
I'm neither.
That is an interesting answer. Elaborate.
I mean, okay. I can demonstrate that might be better
Mhm.
if you're okay with that.
I am more than okay, my dear.
Okay. Okay.
I am
Can
intrigued.
is there like a vase in the room, Sals?
There are any number of pillars.
Okay. Which pillar do you like the least?
They are all
This is
identical.
me.
Okay.
Wait,
Well, it's look. Do you want me to
this
break
is
his favorite?
me.
Do you want me to break his favorite
No.
one?
Can't we just like, I don't know. I
What,
got.
what do you
I like.
what do you suggest?
I mean, we could use a potato. Could you like hit a potato?
That's not exciting though.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool if I tossed a potato in the air and then you like, "Pacha!"
I mean, yeah, when you put it like that, yeah.
Right.
Cute
Reach inside his
pixel.
robes and pull out a potato.
Hey, that's
Why
mine.
Sorry.
Why did you have a potato?
That wire is also staring at Sana like,
Out of
why?
out of character, please, my liege. She's very sick.
I toss a potato into the air.
And I shoot a little bit of ice at it. No, wait, no. I shoot some fire at it to bake that potato.
Oh shit! Sada's never gonna eat that though.
I know. That's why I'm saving her life.
Yeah,
The potato falls back down, and as it does so, the man stabs it with his pipe and holds it to his face to examine it. Impressive that you were able to produce such without any somatic or verbal components.
I can also do it with ice and water and just kind of like pure cold.
Yeah, yes. I have heard of such people as you. The fact that you can wield fire, though, I did not realize Undines could. So far, any I have interacted with have been referred to as tide singers. I don't know if you're familiar with the term.
I am, and that's like that. That's like a legend. Well, I mean, it's not really a legend. It's like recent history, but
Yes, it's not a legend. The factuality of it is documented. I have the documents.
neat. So there was like a pirate.
Yes,
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
you can't.
Oh, is he dead?
Why?
Senlin Ma ate him.
Ah.
Incidentally, I am Hai Zhang
Jen.
Wo.
Whoa.
I am the great Jade Dragon of the West. It is actually more of a pleasure than I was expecting to meet some of you.
Likewise, I did give a little bow and say thank you for, you know.
Indeed. So, what is the nature of your being here? I'm interested in the details of your request for independence. It's not every day that a enclave of T seeks to break away. In fact, the last time this happened
Yeah.
was never. This is unprecedented, really. Really the only reason I'm here. Oh, and that fact that Fang Wu apparently had her body stolen, that's pretty impressive as well, frankly, on the whole scale of things that don't happen very usually. Feng Wu looks somewhat perturbed at this. Well,
Dada?
I live for a very long time, but I am not immortal,
Oh.
so anytime you would like to begin.
Can you repeat the question, Cells? Again?
What?
Why are we breaking off or
Huh.
seeking to break off
Okay.
from T? That is.
Let me think of my words here. Freedom, I
Your
suppose.
shit. Sorry.
Freedom?
The
From what?
people. I think it was already demonstrated that things weren't as well as they could have been. The Shogun was able to so easily sweep over Hanno as he did.
Hmm.
And take his place of power.
Perhaps. But there can be other explanations for that beyond a general need for freedom. I am told that the Shogun is actually quite the strategist and tactician, that in battle there is little one can do to stand against him, save to surrender, or, I presume, to overwhelm him with incredible might that even he cannot evade. That is what the Ivory Army of the East, I believe, had been intending to do, and then failing to do, which was unfortunate for them. And unfortunate for the rest of us, as now we have to pick up the pieces. Why is it always the East that causes these problems, Fengwu? You never hear about these things from the North or the South, and you never hear absolutely anything of problematic concern from the West. That's primarily because you don't report it. I document everything that happens in my domain. Yes, and then it goes into a library and sits there forever. You're free to peruse it at any time you desire. Hai Zhangwo is interested most in how your rebellion weakens me. That is a leap, I think, to say. Am I wrong? No. But getting there was simply not. There was no logical train. That is what offends me. You simply got to the end point before we could actually have the discussion, and that's frustrating. You skipped everything. Sometimes you don't need to know all the facts when you know the person. Well, that's no fun at all. Well, now you're just all standing here, and I can't even continue questioning you. What
I
purpose
mean,
is
I
this?
feel like Losing her body to necromancers does more to weaken Feng Wu than the political allegiance of the humans in. I'm not wordsing well today,
Yeah.
but I feel like Feng Wu's gonna live and control islands regardless of who's ruling said islands. Like, she's a dragon. If she wants to protect us, I'm okay with that. I
It's
just feel
whether
like,
we're okay with that is the bigger question, isn't it?
well,
I understand that your guardian is no longer Feng Wu. It is Zhuan done. But I also understand, and that which you likely don't, is that the golden dragons of T protect T.
Hmm.
That is the letter of our agreement with the humans and other ancestries that later formed the empire in its totality. If you are no longer a part of T, then I don't see how 10 dragons can really be protecting you at all. No golden dragon stakes claim to areas outside the Empire's borders. That's an agreement not just with humans, but with our own kind. So, who is protecting you?
Without your protection, are there dragons that would
I
attack
understand that
us?
you've already interacted with one that is quite close to you and may be interested in the near future in expanding their own area of influence.
well, I mean, 3 of those already live with us, so.
I beg your pardon?
How face palms once more.
No,
But
it's that's she means servants of the one you're speaking of.
we have a working relationship with him.
With blue eyes.
Is that what he's calling himself these days?
Yes.
Are there others that your kin are holding back from assaulting our islands?
Of his size? No. That's the fortunate part. Of
Any
my
size.
size? Maybe. Your islands will most likely become territory of bronze dragons, in which case you will be quite lucky. However, most bronzes will only take up so much territory. Much of their territory will likely be in the sea, unnoticeable, which means inland on your lands you may suddenly find yourself the interest of others. Mountains are enjoyed by many. Silver dragons are quite noble, but they prefer northerly climes, colder areas. The volcanic islands of Hadno, however, would be very appealing to more carmine drakes.
I have a. This isn't gonna go well, but can I sense motive this guy? Like, is this fear tactics? Because I have a feeling that, like, I don't know. I haven't been here all campaign, but I feel like there weren't that many dragons, and then
No.
suddenly everything was dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's kinda
is
accurate.
this as big of a problem as he's making this out to be?
Yeah. I wanna know.
Go ahead.
Well, that's a pretty good sense motive.
That's an
That's
extremely good sense
wonderful.
motive. I thought it was frustrating to have Cesare with his ridiculous bluff. Now it's the opposite.
Oh, I want to see the two of them fight.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh my god, Shazare's whole move is to pretend he's dead. He wouldn't be able to do that with Sai. Oh my god!
I would know immediately.
Oh my god!
Just be like, you're not dead yet. Asai, you get the idea that Hai Zhangwo is operating from a couple of different directions with this line of observation. The first is that it occurs to you that to a dragon, there might seem to be more dragons than, or dragons might seem to be a bit more common than to a human. Dragons can tell where each other are, they can smell them. They're more keenly aware of what's going on in their own society. And also, their experience lasts, if they're not killed, for a couple of millennia. So he might be thinking, oh yes, this could happen any time within the next few centuries.
Uh-huh.
But Hai Zhangwo, you also get the sense that the idea that someone would actively want to leave T, which, by the way, the fact that you're getting all of this is entirely because of that supreme roll. You rolled over a 50. You know basically what he's thinking. He is, despite his protests to otherwise, he is actually offended at the idea that someone would want to leave the empire he helped build. And you also get the final sense that he's somewhat bored with talking to his brother and sister and is fucking with you to pass the time.
Wow. Outside of dragons, what dangers
If it comes to it,
protect us from?
we fight to protect ourselves.
We've had to, is the thing. Our own island, the Burning Wrath, was immolating villages. We had an ancient demon holding a town hostage at one point, not to mention the myriad other dangers faced recently by our neighboring islands. Those have been dealt with by us.
Yeah.
So, outside of dragon infighting, what is the benefit?
What does T give us?
What does T give us? Hadano is a distinct nation, distinct people, and we have distinct needs from T. And instead of being simultaneously minded and ignored by T, why not just let us go?
I mean, it seems like you have more important things to worry about than us anyways.
Exactly. We're just an irritation.
Bonsai Dun and Feng Wu during this have, like, their eyebrows have just sort of, like, inched up their heads, and their eyes just sort of floated over to look at Hai Zhangwo, whose expression was went from just, like, smug intellectualism to vaguely offended to actually, like, genuinely, like, holding it together, but there is something boiling underneath the surface.
There's the juice.
My man's Malvin.
His beard bristles are bristling. They've somehow become even more tripartite. Also, it is just a weird beard style, you have to say. It's
Does T care for our people, or do they hold on to our islands as a point of pride?
I think, my dear, that there may be points of view somewhat more wise and broad and perceptive than your own that may have a greater appreciation for what T has done for you.
So letting people on the islands die is part of that grand scheme.
Humans die all the time. You only live for
Apparent-
about 70 years in the first place.
That's sort of the whole point of the thing.
If your imperious grandiosity cannot see beyond your machinations 300 years in the future, what good does it do for us today?
How dare you?
Sada awkwardly
The-
coughs.
Room echoes as a voice far deeper than this old man should be able to produce erupts from his breast. His eyes flash with the a vibrant green. You've seen dangerous greens before. They were necromantic. They were
This is a new
necrotic.
type of dangerous green.
This is This is something so suffused with life and growth, and it is angry at you. It just happens to be at this moment, however, that the two guards on the far door react as if they hear something, and then begin to try and scramble out of their way, just as the two doors fly open, slamming them both into the walls behind them,
The time?
revealing another person.
Yes, it is time.
It's
Someone
Cesare
more?
No,
himself.
the water dragon, probably.
Water,
Please, 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 please.
please.
A extremely broad
Yes.
and sort of heavy, burly woman in
Yes.
a trailing blue leather long coat, fitted with a blue dragon's head on one shoulder and a mantle of fur, strides into the room in heavy boots. Her peeling off a pair of clawed gloves and sort of unceremoniously shoving them into one of her pockets. The doors sort of swing shut of their own accord, perhaps enchanted to slowly do so if left unattended, allowing the two guards to slowly slide down the walls, still holding their guandos up until they finally reach the ground and collapse to either side.
God.
One hand slams into the other as she strides up to you. And as she gets closer, you realize that this is a very large woman. Hai Zhangwo was tall. This lady is taller than him. She's about 6'6". And when she gets up to you, it's just like, all right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. We all just kind of simultaneously look very like shucks and then kick our feet a little bit and then go thank you.
Who said people could get under Hai Zhangwo's skin without me present?
Sorry, ma'am.
It's what we do.
So aren't they done? These are the people you brought? You did this to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
She goes, she strides up to you. By the way, Hai Zhangwo is still just seething. And she, since Asai, you, and Sada answered first, she strides up to you and puts a hand on both of her heads. And her hands can, basically palm your head. So, and she just sort of like rubs both of your hair and goes, "Good job, kids."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He whirls around, places hands over both of your shoulders, and sort of leans heavily onto both of you, just enough to let you know she's there. You are going. So, what made you decide to pick on some people not your own size? Need to make prove that you're the big wooden dick again? This how I am not angry at this at all.
You seemed kind of mad though.
I am not angry. He's kind of angry.
I
He
think
seems kind of angry.
I thought he was kind of angry. So I'm glad I was confused.
Okay, but if he's not angry, she sort of stands up again, then there's no problem. Because, when a dragon gets angry, they tend to get all pissy and yell and scream and breathe bugs everywhere. That's what he does, by the way. His breath is bugs.
He breathes bugs?
He breathes bugs.
What?
Dang.
I
Is that like
breathe.
a wood aligned thing?
I exhale a cloud of life itself, bugs.
What kind of bugs?
Like cool little beetles?
Yeah, it's like beetles and
Honeybees?
like wasps occasionally. It is pretty effective. Will you shut up?
Locusts.
I mean, if you led with you can breathe beetles, like that's really cool.
It's
Why not
it
locusts?
is. Thank you.
Can you choose?
What?
Wait,
Yeah, is it like beetles under normal circumstances and
No, I
wasps
do not
like
have
right now?
fine selection over what I
You
exhale.
just
Like
can't choose to breathe
butterfly.
those. You just can't choose to breathe those spiders.
No, I cannot.
Ah!
if you
They
could though. Ooh.
they are
Technically, spiders are
flying.
arthropods, right?
This guy,
Senlin Ma just like points at Asai and looks at Haijong. Well, no
What happens
spiders.
when, what happens when it's cicada season?
I this
I
is
just think it's neat.
this is this is politics. You are clearly using their presence to manipulate me into getting angry so that you can seize some sort of restitution when I take a delightful revenge. Well, it won't work, and the rest of you should
What
know
happens when
that she is manipulating you just as I.
Yeah, but what happens when you attack somebody and you're next to a field of corn? Let's go.
yeah, do you like ruin the harvest?
What?
Like
No!
it's like
I am a beacon of life itself. I don't know what the harvest.
Not even with like a plague of locusts?
I do not create plagues of locusts.
wait, can you make
Not
plant?
cause the consumption of crops. This is. There was actually one time they did cause a plague of locusts. It wasn't because he breathed them out, but he, he made a mistake because he's not perfect either, and they ate all the crops.
Well, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes.
The green eyes turn upon you, Kasumi, before turning back to Senlin Ma. Well, if anyone knows about eating, it'd be you.
It's not cool.
Damn, that's not cool, man.
The
I saw
fuck's
Scylla
that
shooting out
supposed
of.
to mean?
Oh,
That occasionally one truly is what one eats. In this case, whales.
Wait, whoa. Are
Oh.
you calling? Are you making fun of her weight? Because that's messed up.
Damn.
or is she like an
Fat
actual
phobic?
like? Or are you saying that like she's part whale, which would be really cool?
That would be
Killer
kinda-
whales.
Like you could breathe out bugs, she could turn to a whale.
She can breathe whales?
I mean, the whales are like a lot bigger than bugs.
No, you were correct with the first one. I was making fun of her. You dare to say something like that to me? So unkind, brother. So you should be more careful, Senlin Ma. You recall water feeds wood. The two of them seem to be taking on a slightly greater aspect. You almost feel crowded in this chamber now as they seem to loom taller, even though you don't feel like they're actually growing, but there is an ominous, terrible fright building from the two of them that seems to wash over you. It feels not unlike the moment that Blue Eyes froze you with his presence. Duante Dunn and Feng Wu at this point sort of look at each other before both at the same time going, brother, sister, this is not really a good time. I know this is the first time that we've all met together in one place in some time, and we may all have certain frustrations from thousands of years together, but perhaps we can maybe. The doors slam open again, crushing the two guards again who are just getting up.
Ah, those poor bastards.
We should probably do something about this, but I kind of just want to.
Although
see
this
what
time there
goes.
is just a human behind it,
Oh,
who sort of cups his hand to his mouth and goes, "All hail and prepare for entry, the Chancellor of the Imperial Palace, Chancellor Zhao." At which point Duante Dunn goes, "Oh, thank God. Oh, gods, whatever." No, brother, sister, you can't be seen like this, so at each other's throats before our last most august brother. Let's just have you stand here, and yes, and you can stand over here, and then with them so separated, Duante Dunn turns to the rest of you. He goes, and now that you've met the rest of my family, you'll meet our fifth sibling.
Mhm.
This is. He looks back at the sort of cavernous hall that lies beyond the doors, and still no one's appeared there. This will be rather our most bureaucratically minded sibling. Zhao has always been. Well, I've described him to you before. Zhao is our little golden boy. You see,
mm.
the crier stands aside and
So excited.
into the room strides a last figure, or another human figure, younger looking than his siblings, except for Senlin Ma, perhaps. And as he enters, Duante Dunn looks to him and goes, "Oh, good, brother, it is good to have a fifth what?" The figure before you is not a nebbish bureaucrat.
He's huge.
He appears human.
Wider than Batbear.
He is not wider than Batbear, but he is built more like Pascal
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
and
dang.
stands about 7 feet tall.
Oh, dang.
In brilliantly gilded armor and white silks with red ornamentation. His black hair tied back with a pair of sort of black mutton chops feeding into the rest of it, going back into held up in a top knot while also cascading down his back with wholly jet black except for a golden streak that adheres just to the right of the middle of his hairline and arcs down through the rest of his hair. He strides into the room, his gait agile, but his footfalls quite heavy. And as he clears the space between you with a quite economical number of steps, suddenly looming before you is this gigantic draconic Adonis who looks down at the rest of you with a completely benign, just the slightest smile, and goes, "Greetings, all.
Hello.
I am Chancellor Zhao. I am the one responsible for the maintenance and bureaucracy of the Imperial Palace and the city of Tianjia. I'm the only great dragon to hold an official position within the Imperial government, though it is fairly, admittedly, honorific, or honorary, I should say. And it is my pleasure to host you within the Emperor's house. You must be Sada Ryudo and
Yes.
retainers."
Yes.
Yes, I bow.
Yes.
He bows back to you. It is a honor and a pleasure to meet those who have undertaken at such risk to themselves efforts to protect their own people. There are many here that would find the means and outlook of your movement to be objectionable, but I am very proud to have, at least for one time, considered you my countrymen. I presume that I have gotten here just at the perfect time to prevent a fight from
Correct.
breaking out. What did you do to yourself?
Yeah. Also, you're way bigger than I described.
yeah,
Yeah.
This
I mean, you look really cool, honestly.
Yeah.
yeah.
I have
Oh,
to
man.
admit you're not the brother I remember.
What?
You've been you've changed. Yeah, he's fucking changed. He's huge. It's been working out. Senlin Ma, at which point, like circles around, puts her arm around him, and like pulls him into him, enough to make even the fairly mighty looking Zhao look somewhat put off and squeezed. As she like punches him in the shoulder. "You look bigger than when I last saw you, you doof. What you've been eating?" I just the same. You did show me some things. You knew about this? Of course I know about this. I actually visit home once in a while.
Hmm.
Wait, you don't visit home? That's kind of mean.
The other three
Yeah.
kind of look, well, actually, Duante Dunn and Feng Wu look slightly abashed, while Ai Zhangwo is just continuing to be completely agog. This is. I don't. You have been neglecting your duties, haven't you? You have been. No. 80 years ago, when the beasts that rise tore through our domain, there was a tower that erupted in the southeast of Tianjia. I last reincarnated on that day
Oh, jeez.
as my body, which admittedly in my previous life was relatively aged and I will say well, noodly,
Mm-hmm.
was torn apart by telepathic monstrosities from another
Ah,
dimension.
that's not good.
No, it
Ah.
really wasn't. It was quite
Oh.
uncomfortable.
Mm.
More uncomfortable to me was the feeling that I had not lived up to my oath to protect the imperial capital, as I fell in combat quite early and quite easily. Indeed, many of my issue fought on longer than I did. The two dragons that I understand confronted you a little bit more aggressively than I had expected, for which I have spoken to them. Were both however, they both performed most admirably in that combat, and so have been given the high honor of protecting the imperial palace itself. But regardless, I'm getting somewhat off track. When I last reincarnated and grew quickly to adulthood, as we do, I elected that in this new lifestyle I would ensure that whatever my bureaucratic and official duties and my talents for performing them may be, that I would not again devote so much time to them that I neglected my own body supporting them. So I asked my sister, who has always been very robust, for some pointers, and after interacting with a few of the early Aten Ket worshippers in the city,
Mm-hmm.
the rest is, as they say, history.
Ah, all right
For
then.
you, as this was a few
You've-
generations ago
yeah.
for you, but for me, it's very recent. I have to say, I am not entirely ashamed of the results.
You should talk to
Anyway,
our friend Pascal. He'll probably be
Yeah.
happy to.
Pascal is just like,
Uh-huh.
yes, I noticed that a number of you actually have really quite admirable physiques. Your centaur friend here is, I'm actually somewhat surprised at. I did not think this was actually. You're really quite large
He is.
in from. Yes, I'm. So I have to say I'm somewhat curious as to the genesis of your own. Anyway, moving on. I grow clearly distracted once more. Again, it is my pleasure to be your host,
It's
even
a
at this
it's a pleasure to meet you.
most um, distressing time.
Hmm.
My siblings and I will need to discuss the exact nature of Feng Wu's
Yeah.
issue.
Hmm.
But once such discussion is finished, I'm sure we will very quickly move on to addressing the issue of your relationship to our empire.
Yes.
Understand that I have no particular power over that relationship. I am Chancellor of the Imperial Court, but
Yeah.
I am not involved in the
Yeah.
greater imperial bureaucracy.
Yeah.
You will
This
be
is the business of I guess of
This is the-
Dawn Dragons.
very much so, and very intentionally so.
Yeah.
This empire is ruled by, well, you all.
Yes.
And you will be having to convince Prime Minister He Zhu, as well as His Imperial August Majesty, the Golden Emperor, the Red Gold Emperor.
Mm.
But he is an emperor born under my sigil, so don't worry, he is reasonable.
All right.
Is there anything I can do for the time being for you all now that you're all here and have had the inestimable pleasure of meeting my entire family at once?
Uh,
Perhaps you should leave my siblings to their discussion here in the Hall of the Dragons. It is constructed especially for our loving
Neat.
conversations. I, in the meantime, will lead you to your quarters
All
as they
right.
have been prepared.
Thank you.
Before he leaves, he walks over to Feng Wu and takes her hand in his, and he whispers something to her ear in well, in some language. You can't really hear it unless you roll a perception check to try and eavesdrop. But
Aha!
Of
all right,
course.
Are you giving me the option?
Asai always eavesdrop.
How keeps an ear open?
But is it
Okay,
like that
go with
kind
the
of
first
obvious
one.
thing where like a dog like lifts up their ear to like
yeah,
that they're
it's
listening?
just
It's way more subtle. Come on.
yeah,
Does it have?
you hear. Well, can either of you speak Draconic?
I have the ring that lets me speak everything.
So
I
yes,
also can
and
speak
also
everything.
Pal can speak
Yeah.
everything. That was a stupid question. Please forgive me. All right, you both hear him say, "I am so sorry for what has happened to you, and I will do everything I can to reverse it." Feng Wu merely nods. To which Zhao nods as well, but genuinely for a moment looks pained before turning away from him and gesturing for you to follow him.
All right. I do so.
And as the doors finally start closing behind you, leading you away from the Hall of the Dragons, you hear Dwante Dunn's voice float out, going, "Wowee! I did not expect that!" And with that, the doors close. I hope that my family wasn't too overwhelming.
It's fine.
Dante Dun's always great, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
You
There was a
have
little
the
fun
advantage.
getting under
Hai Zhangwo's skin.
yes.
It's a amusement that I very rarely afford myself, but I do appreciate that it seems to be universal.
It is pretty
Hai
cool they can
Zhang,
breathe bugs though.
it's frankly an ability I think they underestimate as far as its, well, perhaps not its utility, but as you said, its coolness. Please understand that Hai Zhangwo is. I think that he was essentially born a cranky old man,
Mm-hmm.
or dragon, great worm. But his devotion to tea and its people as well is unquestionable.
Mm.
He would
Yeah.
fight for you,
Yeah.
though he may berate you while doing so.
Huh.
That goes for all of my siblings. They are all gold dragons in the end, though each of them quite unique in their own way. I think I must sound quite arrogant for judging them whilst I sit in my golden halls and listen to their exploits from afar, when all I can really say is I have
Gives
administered
you
a city.
it gives you a manner of perspective. I would say. Nothing
Yes,
though.
though a distant one.
Yeah.
Occasionally I do find myself questioning just how useful that is. But then, of course, when the action, as it were, became much closer to home, I found myself quite wanting.
Mm.
So perhaps my judgment of them is somewhat ignorant of the true difficulties that lie outside the city's walls. Ah, these two. As you walk through the halls, you have come to a sort of uh, smaller area of the palace that the halls are a bit more less airy. They're less just well monolithic. They're more like a still quite tall, like 10-foot ceilings arched with great fiery filigree and gold vaulted ceilings and the same red gold pillars and all that jazz. Um, but it's a little bit more compact. It's a little, and occasionally you have seen people walking in and out of doors that you have seen on either side of the wall, and these people are dressed very much in the same way as Yao Shu. They're the same sort of long robe with various images of animals on a square sort of badge on that covers their torso. And round hats. Most of them carrying scrolls or books. Occasionally, two of them will exit and just be talking to each other. Bureaucrats. The um, the bureaucramancy, or
Yes. The
the
bureaucrancers.
bureaucrancers,
Yes.
the bureaucramancer production facility. Um,
straight off the line.
yes. Um, you'll forgive me for taking you through the office area, but this is where actually I work. But at the end of one hallway that he leads you down, in front, loitering, sort of looking slightly grumpy, are two men. They look like they're in their 20s. Both of them are wearing sort of uh, um, monk robes, but like Shaolin monk rather than cheese and wine monks.
Okay.
Uh,
The boring kind then.
yeah. Both of which you note are They're two humans. They're about 6 feet in height, have golden hair.
These are the guys that knocked the sky skiff.
The hair styles are actually the only things that really differentiate them. Although as you get closer, you note that they have slightly different piercings. They are identical twins. And they turn towards you as you approach and both stand at a slightly more respectful attention at the approach of Chancellor Zhao. And goes, good. Zhao stands to the side, allowing nothing in between you and the two twins. Now, if you please. We're sorry for knocking your sky skiff and scaring you for entering Tiansha's airspace uninvited. That last part wasn't supposed to be part of the apology. We rescind the last part. Good.
Apology accepted.
They sort of look. They're looking down and away from Zhao, but not necessarily from you. But they do look at you from when you say that, and you get. Well, I mean, sense motive, people. If you want to roll it.
Let me sense a motive.
There it is.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
You
yeah.
can't lie to a sign.
Right
Yeah,
on.
no, I mean, it was not difficult. This was not a difficult check, to be honest. And then you rolled a 54, so hey.
Now you know their
Pal,
whole life story.
how you
Yep.
get it too. They kind of resent being forced to do this. Specifically, they resent you guys, not Zhao. You get the sense that these two are people who are not made to apologize very often. And that this is both humiliating and something that they perhaps think is unjust. Good. They've accepted, you may go. With that, they both sort of shuffle off past you. And you think you notice one of them casting a sidelong look at you. Or perhaps it was the other one. But soon they have walked away and down a different hallway.
We keep
As
them.
Hmm?
Sorry.
Oh,
Continue.
no. All right.
Muting myself.
No, I didn't hear you, and I was interested in what you had to say.
He said, "Can we
No.
keep them?"
Yeah.
Oh, as I said, I did speak to them. Now then, if we just continue a little bit down here, that he opens the door for you and gestures for you to enter. And within is a almost decadently appointed suite of rooms. Currently, they're all open. There appear to be 6 separate chambers branching off of this central suite. I understand that some of you might be inclined to sleep in the same chamber, and some of you might not. The exact nature of the relationship to each other was not exactly conveyed to me, but I was hoping that 6 bedrooms would be sufficient.
Yeah.
There are separate beds in each, but should you require it, you can, of course, push them together or separate them or sleep in the central chamber as you desire. If this is insufficient, please let me know, and I will provide additional accommodations as required. You must all
Oh.
be exhausted. I was told that you flew a sky skiff here?
Yes.
That must have taken days.
Yes.
Oh. Those are open air, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do look somewhat windblown,
Yes.
if you don't mind
Yeah.
me saying so. There is that door over there, and he gestures to another door that is currently closed. That is sort of off to the side at the corner closest to the door. That door and that door on the opposite side, pointing to another one that is identical but opposite on the room, are both washing chambers, full bath accommodations, and I, of course, have had the kitchens prepared to accommodate guests. If you would have personal orders that you would like to put in, our chefs are quite adept at preparing multiple cuisines, though I would recommend that you sample the local ones first.
Big Mac.
And
Oh,
w-
What?
you've been
Would
very
you-
How are
gracious.
the
We really
dumplings?
appreciate the welcome, as it were.
it is, as I said, a pleasure. He bows to you again and goes, please, if you need anything, there will be a servant to take your requests with a ring of this bell. And if you need me, please tell him or her that, and they will convey the message. And I will attend to you as soon as I can.
Thank
Right.
you. I'm gonna retire to my
slightly-
quarters now, I suppose, and I guess get cleaned up.
a
Very good.
slightly more reasonable sense motive to just is this guy as nice as he seems?
Oh, sure. 37?
Yeah.
He's being extremely nice to you.
Okay.
The door closes and he walks away, and you can hear him walk away. You get the sense that he's quite heavy. As he walks away and people start filtering into the room, Asai, you sort of linger by the door. You hear a interaction after a couple of moments. You hear not Dante Dunn's, Zhao's footsteps stop, and you hear someone else approach him and begin speaking to him very rapidly and somewhat condescendingly in Tian about some sort of bureaucratic nonsense that you very quickly just
Wait.
olay on trying to memorize the details of.
I know linguistics slightly.
Um, and you hear Zhao's responses, and with your sense motive, you get this sense of, through his curt and very professional responses, that not only does he find this frustrating to deal with, he intensely resents this person and the way that he is being spoken to.
Oh,
Oh.
when you said this, I thought you meant like us. Okay.
After a few moments more, the interaction ends, and both the bureaucrats and the dragon's footsteps echo away down the hallway,
Okay.
leaving you
Treat him with
alone in this
respect.
room. Pascal, after a moment, goes, "I love that guy."
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems
He's
pretty
like,
cool.
yeah, but like he's like perfect Atenket
Yeah.
material, right? It's too bad
Yeah.
dragons
So,
don't really worship gods, but maybe we can like get him into it. You know, he's
well,
already
he
like
said
a
that he
yeah,
already what he talked to some followers of China. I mean, he's a model follower for sure. Like he saw where he was lacking, and he decided to pick up the pace and
yeah, and
reshape himself.
yeah, it clearly worked for him. I mean, if that's what he looks like as a human, what does he look like as a dragon?
Oh, like the most muscular
Oh
dragon.
no!
Oh man.
Dorito bodied
Tube,
dragon.
tube of salami.
How does that even work?
I'm sorry. Did you
Just
say a
look like
tube
a
of salami?
Yeah, like a really like a you know, instead of
Like,
being like a long wiggly dragon, it'd be just like it'd be
you're
like a
saying
vampire situation where
he's
it's
like
just too
rigid,
wide.
like he can't bend?
Well, like a wiggly salami, I guess. Not
I don't know.
actually like a
I feel
literal
like
salami, but like
He
meat is like one.
if
he
your
seemed
salami is
pretty like
Yeah.
you know, he had that sort of athletic agility there.
yeah, if your
Like
salami
his
is
feet went
wiggly,
right where he wanted them.
I'm not saying literal salami.
No, I don't think. Yeah, Pal's not talking like a literal salami. That
I know
that
I
just be a. I'm thinking like he's kind of like he got the thing that he starts out really wide and goes down to the like the. He probably looks like a big kite.
hey,
Oh,
so I
tail
thought
was just yeah.
Mm.
I thought we were gonna die.
Yeah.
Like and I got the vibe that we were kind of resigned to it, like going for broke. Was that like the wrong vibe?
No, you were big accepting death there. No, that's not what I was. Oh no.
Oh, that wasn't like accepting death. It was like a defiance, like fuck
With
you.
Hai Zheng.
Yeah.
I felt more like needing a challenge. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I misread it. We could have died, I guess.
No, I mean like it was really cool. Like
Yeah,
it's like
bugs are neat.
united front of like being rude to this asshole. Like
Well,
that's good.
he was being kind of, you know,
He was being an ass.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just intercede there for a moment. In the future, going forward, wherein my own well-being is concerned, would you kindly let me make my way further away from you before you
Yeah.
begin to agitate a extremely powerful dragon?
Oh yeah, totally. That's fair.
Thank you. Um, Incidentally, I have read stories of interactions between not necessarily Mr. Hai Zhangwo, but the Jade Dragons of Western Tea and their encounters with Cavalier and Dragon Slayers. And yes, the fact that they can breathe bugs is actually horrifying. They crawl inside the armor and they like eat you from the inside. It's really
Oh.
it's pretty
Hmm.
nasty.
Yeah.
It's a bad way
Oh.
to go. It's from what it's been described to me as. I saw a corpse once. He was preserved.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, he's just a big hunk of metal, and just you opened it up, and it's just ribbons and
Oh.
bones. It was really quite fascinating to explore, but from my perspective as as someone who uh, is interested in diagnoses of a cause of death.
Interesting to study, but not something you want to experience. Understood.
Very much so, yes. And also, I tend to think I am far less durable than any of you. So, you please just consider the little person in the room.
Do we still have Natamura?
Madam Mura,
Has
you have
been
not seen
sobbing.
since you landed.
Hmm.
Should we have been concerned?
He's probably with he would have gone with the My brain is not working
Feng Wu.
tonight.
And do you want
Wu.
Tatum?
Feng Wu, yeah.
Yeah. Feng Wu.
So they would probably know where he is, and I imagine he should be fine.
I know where he is.
Oh. Where?
Is
Says
that Pascal
Godars.
or Godars?
Godars.
Okay.
Where is he then,
I
Gadaris?
kind of make a point to look for Madamura whenever I enter a room that I think he's in. He was standing off to the side in the Hall of the Dragons,
Oh, okay.
at a respectful distance from his elder family members.
There we go.
Also, is it like a requirement that every humanoid dragon has to be really fucking hot?
Yes, I believe so.
Apparently.
Absolutely.
Like, even Hai Zhangwo had that, like, athletic grandpa thing going on.
Oh, like a wiry grandpa, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Mm.
you could see his forearms. They were freaking ripped. Just saying, these are the sort of observations I make.
That's fair.
They are
So, who
critical
wants to
observations.
room with me?
No. Pal, let's go.
What?
Oh, you're gonna go room Pascal. That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fine, fine.
You want to hang out with? You want to hang out with the guys?
Asai,
I mean, I
Sada,
can.
come on.
Huh?
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
leave Pal and Pascal. Two
Why?
lovebirds.
Why are you making it like this?
We've been dating for like close to 2 years now, and the entirety of the time has been in front of you. I would have thought that you were fine with.
Wait. You two are dating? What? Like
Shocking, I know.
Oh,
Kasumi speaks incredulously. Her face is dead serious.
I'm sorry that you had to find out like this.
I have things that I should probably put into drawers
Oh, well.
in our room.
I don't remember which
Al,
one
would
it
you like
was.
to join me?
Yeah, a lot of drawers have to be stocked with
I'm trying to
things.
remember which of my
Bye.
characters puts. I'm trying to remember which of my characters put Pascal in the cave.
Yeah.
Kasumi nudges Sada and says, "Get a load of these two. Their room."
What?
Sapphire is just really confused right now as to what is happening. And joins Pow and Pascal in their jar.
Oh no!
Yes,
Wait, no,
that is the
Sapphire,
best
wait.
result.
I am,
It's too late. Batfire's already in the room.
I am
No,
here to
there's
help
only
my
2
friends.
beds.
What? I'm here to help with drawers.
Well, that
What?
works out
Oh,
though, doesn't
okay.
it?
All right.
I do not understand. I am here
No,
to
we were
help
just
with drawers.
unpacking, and I wanted to just get out of the main room because Kasumi was being
Seriously,
kind of
fucking bullshit.
weird.
I see.
Look, I'm
Awkward.
just,
Okay. I will return to help with
I'm,
drawers when the awkward time is over. Goodbye.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
just
just
poking your head
bored.
into our room at this point. No, we know.
Yeah,
It's
look,
fine.
I'm just bored.
I
Okay.
understand. How could you possibly be bored after what we?
Well, yeah, but
What?
it's done now, and like I
Oh,
need
you're
the
on the
next
come
thrill.
down. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, fine.
like I'm officially in that. There's nothing to do in T5.
Oh my god, we just.
We are sort of bound to our rooms, but we could go hunting for more dragons to annoy.
He
Wait, I
didn't
was gonna.
say that you couldn't explore the palace. I mean, there's
Oh,
like 5 palaces in this palace. I didn't know they made palaces this big, and I grew up in one.
oh, because like you look over and Kasumi has already like she's essentially cleaned and dried herself, clothes and all, just kind of standing there.
We could go
Yeah,
find
meanwhile,
someone
everybody
more.
else is just like has the
Well,
occasional twig and leaf stuck in their clothes.
yeah, because Kasumi
Yeah.
is pristine. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Gonna go take a walk. Kasumi leaves.
Uh-huh. How interesting is this walk going to be?
I don't know. I mean, get to no good.
Can
I
I
mean,
come?
oh, yeah. I'm not gonna get up to like bad, but shenanigans.
So can I come?
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
come.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
you guys
Okay.
don't want to like change and stuff. I know Kasumi is magically freaking clean. But
I mean, look, I could literally make the perfectly heated bath for all of you, but
well,
Is there a prestidigitation cantrip, and do clerics have access to it?
yes and no.
Okay.
Alas.
Sorry.
I wave Logan around to make him cast
Nope. Sorry, he's unconscious right now.
He's already passed out.
Yeah.
Thaumaturgy a thing in Pathfinder?
Thaumaturgy is not
Oh,
actually.
that's too bad. That's a fun
Yeah,
one.
it's a fun spell. Um,
word.
although my favorite use of thaumaturgy was when Caduceus did a rave with his eyes in Critical Role. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, now you can find out. Look it up. It's easy to find on YouTube. Where was I? Thaumaturgy back to right.
Yeah, Kasumi, Asai, and Sada were gonna go look around, but then they talked about getting clean.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll take a bath with you.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, I literally can't disobey you, so I guess you're sure. I guess I'll wait. Although I think I kind of rock the grunge look as Gadar's sort of lies down on one of the lounges and shifts back into his succubus form, dirty in all the right ways. But yes, Dottor Clemenza starts shuffling into one of the empty rooms and starts putting things away. Yeah, those of you who wish to take a walk may.
Let's do it.
Let's take a walk.
The three of you exit the chamber and start to walk. Unfortunately, you're in this area of the palace. Things do seem to run together. This is lots of sort of identical looking hallways without any way of really knowing where you are without a map or simply living and working here. So as you begin to stroll, you sort of begin to note that, yeah, things just sort of look sort of one thing running into the other. Uh, as you walk, let's make sure that we're good. We'll get to you last. Batfire, what are you doing? Uber, are you there?
Help with the
I,
drawers.
I'm
Ah.
gonna. No, that seems to be bad by art has connected the dots.
Ah. He can
Hey,
do
make
his
a
own drawers.
smile.
Bad by art is going to ask for a menu, and he's going to make an order. 1 second.
Like, it's room service? What are you doing?
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Supposed to
So,
be
all
like a
right, you
dining
ring
hall.
the bell, and soon a servant does knock on the door and opens it. And a woman in a sort of crisp uniform robe, you note, has the badge on her chest as well with the animal. Apparently, a member of the imperial bureaucracy. She bows to you as you open the door and goes, "Yes, may I help you?"
I would like to make an order for some food.
Very good. Do you have any particular requests, or would you like a menu?
Let me throw something out and see if you have it. If not the case, then I guess I'll ask for a menu. Would you have tenderized chicken within dark ale?
That's not something that I think we have prepared presently, but it would be. We could make that quite easily if you like.
Are tacos a thing in our fantasy universe?
Huh?
I'm asking out of character. I'd like a menu, please.
You're very quiet, Nova. It's a little hard to hear you.
He wants
Right.
tacos.
Oh,
Wait,
He
I
wants to
don't
know
know.
if they exist.
Yeah.
yes.
Nice.
Okay. Well, I'll have a one of everything.
One of what? And then she looks at the rest of you and she like looks down a horse body and also like wider than the actual doorway. Um, that may take some time. I'll examine the menu and would you like it in separate plates or all mixed up in a bowl?
Oh my god.
Big slurry.
Yes.
Trough.
Mix it all into a bowl. I'm going to drink your.
She
Yeah.
she cocks her head at you as she thought that was a joke. Before going, all right,
No, I'm kidding. I would like to savor.
understood. That may take about 20 minutes to a half an hour to fully prepare, but we will be back shortly.
Okay.
And now we wait
Why,
in real time.
That Maya
Mhm.
looks around, tries
Are
to
there
find something to read.
are there any other orders that would be taken? I understand that there are multiple people in the room. Of course, you did just order one of everything, but from the way you said it, I got the impression that you might be intending to eat all that.
Yes, that player is not sharing today.
I see. Well, you're not the first large appetite we've had to fill, as I think you are aware we do occasionally cater to dragons. So
Player will work to surpass this appetite. I don't know until this third person
Why
thing.
third
I don't
person?
know.
you're
I don't know
going
if I,
to.
I think I'm. I think I'm like, oh, I'm just been in the crowd of dragons. Okay,
I mean, we could make you a dragon special if you really want,
no,
but
no,
I
I
think you're a
don't
little
feel like.
small even for that.
Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'll become a dragon in some point in my. I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Hey Nuva, your like audio is a little crackly.
Oh wait, let me remove. Is this better?
Yes.
There, yeah.
Could
I don't know what.
Valkyrie become a dragon through the amulet?
He hasn't yet.
Or his species. You haven't. With a chance of rolling a zero, maybe? No, it's 1 for 40.
Um, although I did notice that. Yeah,
And
well,
40
who
became
knows?
41.
No, it's still a D40. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't that be really hilarious? Oh, God, I'm just thinking of the appropriate timing of turning into a dragon. Alright. Anyways.
You could be like a baby dragon, like a little noodle.
I don't want to do it all. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I need to get a microphone. Yeah. Who else is going to order? I point at Sada. What are you getting?
Sada's not here.
Sada,
Oh, I
Kasumi,
point.
and Asai have gone for a walk, so
Yeah.
it'd be Akio. Dotoyo Clemenza puts in an order. Gadaris also orders
Sure.
one of everything.
Just get me. I just want some fried chicken and a side of a whole wine bottle. Your finest, please.
All right. And she looks past you all to see Pow and Pascal sort of finishing up packing or unpacking. And
Big
can
one
I get
doesn't
you
eat.
two anything?
How,
What?
how
The big one
special?
doesn't eat as far as I can remember. Pascal, do you still eat? Like, not eat?
I mean, I can eat, but I don't have to. And like, no, I'm fine, thank you. Okay. He doesn't eat that. Anyway, and you,
Oh,
my dear?
whatever you recommend. How special? Or also scallion pancakes, if that's cool.
I'll bring you an order of both.
Woohoo.
And with that, she sort of turns away and walks down the hallway. Oh, what a pleasant lady. I'm going to take a bath. Bye,
Who said that?
Pascal. Leaving you all to sort of relax and sort of sink down into this sumptuous apartment. And for once, you're in a sumptuous apartment in a palace, and you're not being held under house arrest. It's even better.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the three others, Aki Osada and Kasumi, are sort of just, you're getting yourselves lost. It's how you explore new places. Just sort of going through this maze of halls. From what you saw outside, this wing of the palace that you think that you have made your way into is quite extensive. So no doubt there are many such hallways with many such doors leading into the various scrivener rooms that you have seen beyond them when they occasionally open to allow a very polite but very rushed bureaucrat to leave and walk somewhere else. Looking beyond the door, you will see generally desks with other bureaucrats writing or uh, rooms filled with scrolls and books, either simply being organized or actively being read. And you have seen at least one section that actually stops you as being a little interesting. There is, rather than a door, there is an actual central sort of chamber that you come across that appears that several hallways sort of branch off of. And rather than having doors, these just have doorways, large um, arches shaped in the fashion uh, of a sort of yawning dragon's maw. And within it are rows of writing desks, and next to each desk is a sensor hanging from a chain on a hook, on a hooked stand that sits on the desk. And within the sensor, you can see is burning a sort of smoldering green flame. And every so often, you see a little piece of paper get spat out of the flame and onto the desk, where it gets picked up and scrolled open by the whoever is sitting at the desk, who after pinning it in on either side very quickly writes down the missive thereon onto another piece of paper and places it on a shelf next to them, where it is soon picked up by another bureaucrat who shuffles it off to places unseen. There are dozens of these desks, and they are almost constantly active, getting messages, writing them down, and sending them off. You also see further down, after a where there is a major aisle that sort of separates the sets of desks in this chamber into 4 different quadrants, as the aisles cross in the center from the 4 dragon maw doors that open into the square room. On the other side, you see people doing the opposite, receiving missives from a bureaucrat being placed into their shelf, taking it down, writing it onto a similarly small piece of paper, scrolling it up and placing it in the flame, where it is burned up and disappear in a sudden burst of green fire. As you watch, one of the bureaucrats pushing a cart piled high with collected messages wheels it around down the hallway and starts going towards you before looking up over the messages towards you. And as he approaches, he looks at you through his small round spectacles and goes, can I help you?
Nope.
Nope.
And I get out of his way.
Yeah, we sort of just wandered
No.
here by accident.
Oh,
No, just
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
well, this isn't really an area for palace visitors, but if you just stay out of the way and, well, actually, just don't enter the room
All right.
and kindly don't try to read the messages. And he takes his, sort of like, he takes a part of his cloak and just sort of throws it over the top of his cart. The messages shift underneath it slightly and goes, oh shit, and pushes them back into position before holding them down. Actually, it'd be better perhaps if you were to not linger.
Okay.
Thank you for your understanding. Greatly
Mhm.
appreciated. Have a good day. With that, he picks up his cart and sort of wheels it away, smiling at you before rushing down the hallway.
All right.
Turning around, and after that encounter, however, make a perception check.
Perception check. 43.
Well, I don't need to make a perception check.
I got a 31.
You never know. Maybe that's not high enough.
I crit, so
Nice.
Nice.
There is no such thing as a crit
I know.
success.
I know.
So unfortunately, even if a size wasn't high enough, you would not be able to change that. But on the bright side, a size was high enough because you rolled a 43 and like, holy shit. Asai, as you sort of turn away, you hear like a giggle a bit distantly. Sort of like it echoed to you.
Can I echolocate the source of the giggle?
Yeah, it came from one of the hallways behind you. You heard it. You know the direction it came from.
Oh, I'm
Um,
heading that direction.
Okay. Kasumi and Sada, you see Asai suddenly turn and start heading down one of the hallways that you have not approached yet.
I leave them with me.
Sure.
Together, the 3 of you proceed down the hall. And Asai, you hear it, or not the same, but you hear a similar one again. The occasional whisper, or not whispered, but quiet discussion of cooing and oohing and awing. The general discussions of one's engaged in or in flagrante delicto, as they say. As you get close and you start to realize what this is, you slow down and decide this is clearly something that I shouldn't be investigating.
Yep.
That'd be rather rude. However, at this point, Sada and Kasumi, you can hear the voices as well, and you come to the same consideration as Asai until you hear another voice, a man's voice, one that you've heard before,
Oh my
but
god.
haven't in some time.
Ooh.
Sada,
Ooh.
you are the more you tend to be the more strident, more what's the word? Headstrong one.
Yes,
And
yes.
pushing forward, you go to the door from which you're hearing this, and upon hearing the voice within again, you open it, and the three of you see within a man with sitting on a pile of cushioned sort of lounge bed thing with several other people, men and women, fully clothed. Though they do seem to be enjoying each other's company. The man is tall, very strong looking, with sort of orange red hair and a tattooed face and body, blood red, tiger stripes, and a tiger's face upon his chest.
Oh.
And he looks at you with his almost wolf-like golden eyes and opens, and his mouth curls in a smirking smile, revealing the long, fanged canines within. Ah, I wasn't expecting to see you all here. As across from you in this room is the vampire Namboku.
Oh shit!
Oh
I thought it was the tiger
no.
merchant. I thought it was the tiger merchant guy at first.
I
No,
thought it
dude,
was.
it was this
I
guy.
thought it was King from Tekken.
You guys.
And that
because he
is
kept
where
saying
we
tiger
will
stuff, so I was thinking, oh, the
stop
tiger guy.
for tonight.
Oh my god, I almost
Fuck.
screamed when you described the tattoos. Are you fucking kidding me?
I couldn't remember Namboku's tattoos.
Holy shit. What the fuck? Also,
I
where's
guess-
Suru?
I am going to, if no one else is opposed, I am
Immediately
going to
stab.
ask Profanity if he will be available for joining the end of the campaign,
Oh my
All right.
just to finish it
Oh,
up.
I'm done.
No,
with that,
I'm so
I am
At which
opposed.
point,
I'm extremely opposed.
well, damn it. At which point next week he would hopefully join us.
Yes, hopefully.
But yes,
Sick.
he's been Namboku is. You haven't known where he
Yeah.
went. I guess
He's
you know
here
now.
apparently.
He's been living it up in a palace?
And now
This is bad.
I immediately make my fire sword and stab him.
I
Holy
guess we're
shit.
going to John Wick to him.
Hell yeah.
And I'm having fucking scallion pancakes like an idiot.
Oh,
Damn it.
I want scallion pancakes.
Just to
I-
repeat
yeah.
something that was said to you earlier in the game, though, so you don't forget, in the
No.
voice that was said to you in,
Oh.
there will be no violence
Yeah,
in
the professor
Imperial Palace.
the
Oh,
Professor Oak
God.
voice.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, Kasumi was like, it would end with her like about to fucking launch a blast and then stopping.
they know that they're harboring a vampire? Why is he a guest in the palace? What's happening?
Because they're above it.
Or is it because he's using his fucking vampire mind tricks, dude?
Not on a dragon.
Mm.
Anywho,
Mm.
next
or
week.
is he a vampire dragon?
Oh my
Oh,
Dun
god.
dun
no.
dun.
What if he vampired a dragon and now he got dragon power? Oh no!
Oh no.
I'm
Because he was
beginning to
trying to
think
vampire
Scallion.
elemental power.
Yeah. Scallion
Oh.
pancakes might have been the smart option.
No. Well, maybe. Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Last but not least, I will throw in the remaining images that I have.
All right.
More dragons!
I am going.
presuming
to
based
Shenlin Ma
on-
has been exactly the same as when you first saw her,
Yes.
but I didn't really fool around with her since.
Yes.
I see.
But she remains her awesome self.
Yes, still love her.
Pretty good.
But it's hard to get the framed perfectly sometimes with this. Okay. Pop.
Neat.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to hop off. I will talk to you guys
Yes.
later.
Bye.
Well,
Yes.
okay. Have a good night.
Night.
Later, everybody.
Good night.
Be free.